Hello, my name is Whitney Castile, and I'm here to present the redesign proposal for Crack House Ministries. So, as far as the changes we would like to make to the website, we have summed them up here. The website is already very strong. It already has a lot of strong points. We really just want to tighten things up and streamline them for a stronger and more professional appearance. And we want to make the information there even easier for people to find. Now, when we analyzed the site, we found that there were, as we said, several strengths. There are lots of powerful photos used within this throughout this website. Also, a lot of powerful wording, very strong imagery in general. The website of the purpose of the website, excuse me, is very clear. It's clearly here to help people who are addicted to drugs to be able to get off of those drugs. It's also very easy to use. Now, we know all this because of some testing that we did, which we'll go over a little bit later. So as far as what could use a bit of improvement on the website, we did see that the layout can appear a bit disorganized. For example, when we look at the navigation bar, it is not stretching across the entire width of the top of the screen, which is not necessarily the worst thing, but it can appear to be a bit unfinished when we will see the open expanses here on the sides. Also, we want the web page titles to be evenly distributed across the navigation, just to make it look a bit more polished and finished. Now, some of the photos do come across pretty blurry, not all the photos, but some. Now, here, clearly, getting the photo onto this slide and having to adjust it did cause the entire photo to be a little bit more blurry than it appeared on the actual website. As you can see here, that's my fault, not the fault of the website. But when you do go to the website, you can see that indeed some of the photos are very blurry. And the website overall can have a very outdated appearance as well. And we just want to make a few updates. For example, update some of the icons, the Facebook icon, the mailing list icon, the donation icon. We just want to update some of the features to give it a more modern feel. So as far as mobile view, when we think of mobile view, basically when a website is being designed, we design for the smaller screen first, aka the smartphone screen, add more features when it's time to create for the tablet screen, which is slightly larger, and then we add even more features when it's time to design for the desktop computer screen or laptop computer screen, which is of course larger than the smartphone screen. So we would say that this website seems to use mobile first strategy pretty well. Mobile first strategy is pretty much what I've just described, adding on more and more features as you continue with designing for bigger and bigger screens. It was created by Luke Wroblewski, who, as I said here, if you just wants to pare things down to the most important features when we're designing for a smaller screen. So the elements do align toward the center, which is very, very nice. It does appear that mobile first strategy is used well here. The navigation is gone, but that's okay because we have the most important features here. If someone needs help with recovery, they can click here and find that help. If someone wants to know what kinds of ministries, what kinds of services you offer for the community, they can find that right here. And the donation button is right here as well. Now, as far as testing goes, we did find 3 users across 3 different generations, a baby boomer, a millennial, and a Gen Alpha user, to help us by testing the website for us. They were asked to provide 3 tasks on the site and also to provide their impressions of the site. So the first task they were asked to perform on the website was just to find the upcoming activities that your organization has. So users were able to find them very easily, but we did notice that the navigation bar was initially missed. probably because of the size of it and not taking up the entire width of the screen, but also because of its placement at the very, 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 very top of the screen. Often, users are expecting to see the navigation bar, or at least important information, somewhere in this area here. Somewhere in this area, a little bit further down from the screen. Often there'll be like a header at the top of the nav. Sometimes people expect to see the navigation down the left side. That's also a common placement. But because of its placement and possibly because of the size of the navigation, they didn't quite notice it at first. But once they did, they were able to find things very, very easily. And it didn't take long for them to see the navigation, but they did have to do a little bit of searching. Now, when it came time to find recovery services, which was the second task they were asked to perform, they were able to find it very, very easily because they now knew where the navigation was. So finding donation info, again, very easy for most. Actually, one user found the information both ways. Found it on the around this area on the home page, and also by looking at the navigation. Clicking on the About Us button, I believe, is what led them eventually to finding donation information. As far as impressions of the website, our Gen Alpha user Deja said that it did look random to her, basically saying that the website had a bit of a messy display, but after the test she did find it to be helpful. As far as our other users, the imagery was very important to them. It was very powerful and it really affected them. The wording and the photos on the site were very powerful. The website's purpose was clear. They understood what the website was for, and they found it easy to use. As we stated before with the testing, they were able to get through the task pretty easily. As far as redesign strategy, there are a few changes we'd like to make, and we have as an example the Potter's House website. It is a church website similar to yours. Of course, we don't want to completely copy off this website, but a few of the elements we'd like to incorporate are seen here. For example, we see the navigation bar. It goes all the way across the top of the screen. Even though all of the titles are not going all the way across the navigation, which is similar to your navigation bar, there's still something over here to balance it out. We have an icon here, which is in the usual place that users will expect to find it. We have the title of the website over here. We have something to balance it, basically. Whereas with your website, we have the navigation at the very top, and we have the wording skewing to the left, so there's nothing on the right to balance it. So this just provides a more pleasing display. We would like to resize, so either widen the website, widen the navigation, and move it down, or we could move it to the left side. But we would really like to align the navigation with the user's gaze. We also would like to resize the photos. Here we see very clear photos that are optimized for the size of the screen. And as far as the photos on your website, they would be even more powerful if we go ahead and resize them so that they're all free of blurriness. And we'd also like to make some updates. We would like to update some of the icons, for example, the social media icons, maybe even add some social media icons if you decide to add more social media, but definitely update the Facebook icon, the donation icon, and the mailing list icon. One of the users did say that the donation button appeared a bit sketchy. I'm not sure if I mentioned that earlier, but we don't want that, of course. So yes, we'd like to make some changes to that. And thank you so much for your time. That is all we have, and we hope you have a good rest of your day.